Welcome back to the lecture series of function of complex variable. So in the previous lecture actually we have discussed what is the analytic function and how we can recognize it at the broader concept compared to the differentiability of a function, and what is the Cauchy-Riemann equation, and by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation we can generate actually the necessary and sufficient condition for a function to be analytic. Now in this lecture we are going to discuss how we can define the derivative of a complex valued function by virtue of the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So we will try to find out here the derivative of the complex valued function fz that can be written in the form of u plus iv, that is w, where z is x plus iy. So this is a complex valued complex function. Both the independent variable and dependent variable are here the complex numbers, that is z and w respectively. So now by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation we will try to define the derivative of fz with respect to z, that means f dash z or dw dz. How we can define? So you know that f dash z equals to, so fz equals to u plus iv. So f dash z equals to either du dx plus I dv dx or f dash z equals to du dy plus I dv dy. So with the help of the partial derivative du dx dv dx or du dy dv dy, f dash z can be represented in that form, du dx plus I dv dx or du dy plus I dv dy. Now if we want to use the Cauchy-Riemann equation, so by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation we know that du dx can be written in the form of dv dy. So du dx will be dv dy and dv dx can be written in the form of minus du dy. So the derivative of a function fz with respect to z can be defined in the form of either du dx plus I dv dx or dv dy minus I du dy. So either with respect to x or with respect to y, by considering the partial derivatives of u and v, we could define f dash z in that way. So now I am now I am giving one example through which we can actually show that the function is analytic, because in the previous lecture we have discussed what are the conditions for a function to be analytic. So here we are going to show that this function is analytic and we are going to find the derivative of fz by virtue of the previous definition that we can get by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So here fz equals to u plus iv. So if I compare this with u plus iv, fz equals to u plus iv, so we will get u equals to e to the power x cos y, the real part of this functional value, and v will be e to the power x sin y, the imaginary part of this functional value. Now what will be du dx? So partial derivative of u with respect to x, that means a function that contains y will remain fixed and the derivative of e to the power x will be e to the power x. So this will be e to the power x cos y. Now the partial derivative of u with respect to y will be minus e to the power x sin y, but that means the function containing e to the power x, that means function containing x will remain constant and the derivative of cos y with respect to y will be sin y, and dv dx will be e to the power x sin y and dv dy will be e to the power x cos y. In the same way we can define dv dx and dv dy. Now what are the conditions for a function to be analytic? That means what are the conditions need to be satisfied for a function fz to be analytic? That means we need to consider here the sufficient conditions. So as per the sufficient conditions, we know that the Cauchy-Riemann equation first must be satisfied. So what is the Cauchy-Riemann equation? So Cauchy-Riemann equation is du dx equals to dv dy. So du dx is e to the power x cos y and dv dy is e to the power x cos y. So they are equal. The first equation of the Cauchy-Riemann equations is equal. Then the second equation of the CR equation is du dy is equals to minus dv dx. So du dy is minus e to the power x sin y and dv dx is this. So du dy equals to minus of this, that means dv dx. So both the Cauchy equations in CR equations are satisfied here, and you know that the e to the power x and cos y, both the functions are continuous in the two-dimensional plane xy. So e to the power x into cos y, the product of the two functions will be continuous. Since we know that exponential function and trigonometric function, that is cos y sin y, are continuous for any values of x and y, so their product are also continuous. So what are the sufficient conditions? So sufficient condition states that if the partial derivatives of the real part and imaginary part satisfies the Cauchy-Riemann equation, as well as the first order partial derivative, that is du dx, du dy, dv dx, dv dy are continuous, then the function will be analytic. So here all the partial derivatives are continuous and the equations are partial derivatives are satisfying the Cauchy-Riemann equation. Hence, the function fz will be analytic. Now, what will be the derivative of fz? So, f dash z we know that if we represent in the terms of the partial derivative of x, then this will be du dx plus I dv dx. That means e to the power x cos y plus I to the power x sin y. So, that means we know that if I take e to the power x common, so e to the power x cos y plus I sin y. So, by using the Euler's theorem, we know that cos y plus I sin y will be e to the power iy. So, that is e to the power x into e to the power iy. So, e to the power x plus iy. Now, we know that x plus iy is z. So, this will be e to the power z. So, the derivative of fz with respect to z will be e to the power z, that we could get by using this formula. Similarly, we can get the same result by considering the partial derivative with respect to y also, that we have got by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So, by this example, we are showing that fz is analytic and we are trying to find out the derivative with respect to the partial derivatives of real part and imaginary part. So, in this lecture, so far we have discussed how we can represent the derivative of a complex valued function with respect to the partial derivatives, and by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation, how we can represent it. Then I have discussed one example where I have verified whether a given function is analytic or not by considering its sufficient condition to be for a function to be analytic, and I have found the derivative of that function with respect to the partial derivatives. So in the next lecture, I will be discussing what is the harmonic function and what are the properties of harmonic function and what do you mean by the harmonic conjugate. So till then, stay tuned. So thank you all for watching this lecture.